So it appears that you guys really like the collection videos, and today the Sega Saturn collection was requested, but I did that 3 months ago and I asked you guys to rate my collection, which you did. So today I thought I'd cover the OG Xbox. There's a lot to get through, so I'm gonna plop a little disclaimer in here. There's not gonna be really much cutaway to gameplay, because there's just so much to go through. This video would easily be an hour if I covered every single game in absolute depth. So I hope you can enjoy this, and as always, sit back and let me know if I'm kind of missing anything. And the reason I'm kind of doing this is, if you saw the charity shop retro game hunt video I did last week, I managed to source an Xbox Crystal in a charity shop for a good price. And I've been testing a lot of these games on that console. I'll link it in the cards if you want to go check it after. But for now, we're going to get on with it. So enjoy. Right, I've got a pile here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 massive piles here. So let's get into it. First off then, and in no particular order, sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background, we got Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, a console staple by the OG Xbox standards. This is a phenomenal RPG. If you're familiar with the Elder Scrolls series, you would have played the Oblivion, Skyrim. We're looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6, or there's some news of, but Morrowind really pushed the OG Xbox to its limits in terms of its kind of graphical ability, the size, the scale. It's a really good game to kind of come back into. It's not aged that well, but I really recommend that you pick this up on your OG Xbox. Next up then, I'm going to show these two together. You'll see why. We have Halo 2 with the multiplayer map pack. I believe the servers are now closed. So, in terms of like the multiplayer map pack stuff, you ain't going to really get a chance to play this. I could be wrong though. Correct me. Feel free to correct me in the comments. But again, Halo 2 for many is a staple game for the OG Xbox, as is maybe the entire Halo series. Next up, we got TOCA Race Driver. Loved TOCA on the PlayStation 1. We got a nice copy of Super Monkey Ball Deluxe with one of the world's biggest stickers on there. Where was this from? Forbidden Planet. Oh, cool, nice. Loved this on PlayStation 2, like Super Monkey Ball. First played it on the PlayStation 2. Actually went crazy for that game when it came out. We got Silent Hill 2 Inner Fears. This is missing manual, but I recently picked up a massive bunch of manuals from a car boot. So I'm going to go through all my kind of games that don't have manuals. I'm going to sift through. We got hundreds and hundreds, and hopefully be able to complete some of these games. Continuing on then, again the pace is just going to continue with this. Myst 3 Exile, the perfect place to plan revenge. What an absolute mouthful that bad boy is. We got Unreal Championship and some OG Xbox, and I'm hoping, with you guys watching this, you can kind of get some memories and share the nostalgia, because I love reading about your memories in the comments. It's really awesome. Now here's one that I know a lot of you guys are going to go crazy for. We got some Time Splitters 2. All right, absolutely wicked. Until recently, Time Splitters 2, it costs, I want to say it cost a fair bit by any stretch of the imagination, but by the original Xbox kind of standards and regular prices, this is kind of above average in terms of pricing, but it seems to me though as though it's dropped a little bit recently. We got Alien Hominid, which is a game I'm less familiar with, certainly out of my OG collection here. A lot of it I've played, especially in my university days. The original Xbox really kept me company, which was pretty cool. We got Crash Twin Sanity. We got Crash Twin Sanity. Not the best Crash Bandicoot spin-off by any stretch of the imagination, but hey, picked it up pretty cheap. Panzer Dragoon Auto. What are we going to say about this then? This was recommended to me by many of you guys in previous videos and on live streams as well. I don't remember how much I paid for this. I think I picked it up from Doncaster Gaming Market. So I'm really stoked to have that. And then last game out of this first pile, we've got the double pack edition of Grand Theft Auto. So we've got Vice City and Grand Theft Auto 3. If you've been watching some streams here on YouTube or on my Mixer, because we dual stream, been playing lots of Rockstar recently. We've done Vice City, we've started Bully, and I'm gonna go for completion with them. We'll also be doing some San Andreas. So that's the first pile. Let's dig into the next. Okay, we're here, we're there. We got Onimusha. Genma Onimusha. I always used to think that said Gemma, like because obviously my name's Gemma, and I always used to be like, what, Gemma Onimusha? Are you kidding me? What is this? We also have a copy of Gun. Always love the artwork on Gun. Let me know actually, what is your favourite? I'd like to know from you guys, what is your favourite artwork on an OG Xbox game? I definitely prefer the spines, how you can kind of see the artwork compared to the PS2 pal. PS2, as you can see behind me there, just the kind of white with the kind of black writing, not attractive at all, but I love the OG Xbox stuff. I got Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. I believe this was an add-on. Oh, it's just fallen out, which is amazing. I love, yeah, you know, we're not cutting that. So that's pretty cool. Love Doom 3. I actually traded in a massive PS2 collection back in the day when Doom 3 came out, just for a brand new original Xbox with a brand new copy of Doom 3. Got completely ripped off, but I really wanted to play it and I had no money to buy an OG Xbox. Grabbed by the Ghoulies is another common original Xbox title that is just a ton of fun. It says here, laugh in the face of danger, straying too far from homelands, you in Gore Haven Hall. What? Whatever, we ain't even gonna read that, but play it, it is awesome. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Lovely, lovely, loving a bit of Tom Clancy. Another copy of Halo 2. These are good videos for me because I can just kind of like pop that there in a doubles pile. We got Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Again, I'm seeing a lot of Star Wars titles now starting to fall in price. I have no theory as to why that is. Maybe it's because there's so many of them out there in like the likes of CEX and at gaming markets. I typically use CEX for anything kind of like CD based. If I go to a gaming market, I won't really buy original Xbox and PS2 stuff and PS1 unless I really, really want it. I'll go more cartridge based, but CEX is excellent, especially with doing like the £5 challenges. By the way, there is a £5 challenge video coming on Wednesday, so I'm just going to leave that there. Far Cry Instincts. V-Rally 3, picked that up recently from Excite Games. Love me a bit of racing on OG Xbox and PS2. NBA Live 2002. Nothing on NBA Jam on the cartridge days, the 16-bit cartridge days of the Super Nintendo and the Sega Mega Drive, might I just add. And we've just spoken about this one actually. We've just spoken about Doom 3. Again, I've streamed this recently along with Doom and Doom 2 Classics, as we now know that those three games are available on the Xbox One store and the PlayStation store, so that is really cool. I believe this was $7.99 on the PlayStation store, so you need to get yourselves on that. We got Dead or Alive Ultimate. Love me a bit of Dead or Alive. Actually, for me, this kind of like when Dead or Alive first came out, rivaled Tekken for me in terms of its kind of arcade feel. Don't really have a preference as to which one I prefer because I'm not a huge fan of fighting games by any stretch of the imagination, but it is what it is. Love these next games. Love, love, love the Burnout series, this being Burnout Revenge. So much fun, like so much fun, crashing the cars, amazing soundtracks, absolutely so much fun with the Burnout series. We've got a copy of Jade Empire here, again recommended by you good people. You've really done me proud, like with the recommendations you've made over the years, because I've picked up so many good games that I would have just overlooked otherwise. Got a copy of Driver. Ooh, yeah. This is a limited, oh, it's pretty like stuck on something. A limited edition of Getting Up. Getting Up. This is, I have no idea. I've never actually played this. It says, in the city of New Radius, Mayor Sung's call to revive, rebuild, and renew is sending shockwaves of hope through a society that has none. You are Train, a graffiti artist sickened by the governmental tyranny and the exploitation of the people. You must bring the war to the streets, uncover political scandals, and expose your leaders as corrupt. Seems like a pretty easy job to do, let's face it. We got a copy of Dark Watch, and loving the artwork here, Raises Hell. So again, if I'm going too fast, I apologise. It's very difficult to do these collection videos with any kind of like pace other than to kind of show and talk that little bit. So if you're still here, we're about to dive into the third pile, and I'm also going to share some tips on what I do when I go to charity shops, you know, in order to get the best games. And they've worked for me, and I'm pretty confident they'll work for you, so stay tuned. Okay, another blinder, again staple, but not an OG Xbox exclusive. We have True Crime, New York City, beautiful. Blood Omen 2, the Legacy of Kain series. Facts, yeah, this has manual, not in an OG Xbox case, but whatever. I'd love to see a revival of like Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain. Loved it on PlayStation 1. That's when I was first introduced. I used to babysit. Like I think I was about 16, and some of my like cousins I'd like babysit for were like 12 sort of thing, and they would play it. So that's how I got introduced to it. Goblin Commander Unleashed the Horde. Again, another game that you guys suggested I pick up. This kind of like a top-down, sometimes kind of isometric. Looks to me like very Diablo-ish. I love Diablo. MotoGP, ultimate racing technology. Like, okay. Hitman, Blood Money. I'm very guilty here of being crap at stealth games. I am terrible because I have no patience, because my mind works at 55,000 miles an hour. So for me, the notion of stealth, I really have to like dive deep, especially on stream when it's hard to kind of interact with an audience and be kind of into the game. Stealth for me is very difficult, but is it for you, or is that just me? Like, am I the only one that has trouble with stealth? I'm not going to talk about this next game too much because I've spoke about it in so many videos. I'm just at risk of repeating myself, but Half-Life 2, come on, I love you. You guys know about the baked beans story with Half-Life 2, come on. If you're a true fan, you'll know, and you'll put it in the comments. Halo Combat Evolved, first OG Xbox game I ever played at university. I would have been in my first year, so it would have been 2001. My neighbour had it. Got some Burnout 3 Takedown, which for me is the best Burnout game in the entire series. Just the slow motion, the whole kind of slow motion-y kind of bullet time-esque crashes, like wow, I'll never forget that. Broken Sword, The Sleeping Dragon. We got Final Fight Streetwise, which isn't a great Final Fight game. I think, you know, with it being like branded Final Fight, you think you're getting something really good, but it just kind of lacks. It's really laggy, doesn't look that great, but it was like 50p, so I picked it up. Red Dead Revolver, beautiful. Hello Squeak, my cat's here. Copy of Black. We have some classic Outrun 2. Beautiful game, beautiful. I never get tired of Outrun, whether, you know, on any platform. It's just so much fun for me. We've got, I'm just dropping the things here. Street 3, NBA Street 3. This feels like it's rattling around a little bit. That's because it's broken inside. Again, basketball games, I think, is a very niche market. Don't think I'm part of the core market for basketball games, unless it's cartridge based on the 16-bit consoles. We got Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell and Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. I'm glad I'm not seeing many doubles here, gamers. Second Sight, a game that I couldn't give two hoots about, but F1 Career Challenge. I know, Waz, if you're watching, you're going to be all over that. We got some Max Payne. We got The Thing, which is actually a remarkable game. This game is phenomenal. If you haven't played The Thing, I highly recommend it. It's very atmospheric, a nice balance between stealth and action for me, so that's good for me, because like if it's all stealth, I'm going to struggle. X-Men 2, Wolverine's Revenge, and a snowboarding game, amped. Okay, so we've got 2 more piles, but before we dive into that, in terms of like the best tip I can offer, if you're in a charity shop and you don't see something on those shelves, because 9 times out of 10 I don't, it's all kind of FIFA and stuff, I will always ask. But it's not just a case of asking if there's anything in the back, it's how you ask. And I always like to approach it and be as kind as possible using manners, because people, you know, people like to be spoken to with respect. So, and I like being spoken to with respect. So I always start and say, excuse me, I wonder if you could help me. Have you got any video games in the back? But be careful, because I'll say this, I've come across people in charity shops, workers that don't actually know what video games are. People have said to me, like VHS games, and I'm like, no, PS2 or Xbox games. So when you kind of drop that lingo in, they all of a sudden know what you mean. So it's always nice just to start by saying, excuse me, I wonder if you could help me. Have you got any other PS2 games in the back? And 9 times out of 10 gamers, they always bring out some really good stuff. So that's my little tip. We got 2 more piles to go. So we're going to fly through these then. So we got Oddworld, Munch's Odyssey. Oh, we're into some horror now. Project 02 Director's Cuts. Crimson Butterfly as it's known in other areas. But again, if I'm at like Doncaster Market, this is a game you don't tend to see in CEX. Paid 20 quid for it. I'll pick that up if I'm at the market. So I'll kind of break my cartridge only rule for things like this. We got we've got Forza Motorsport. Obviously Forza being a brand that is synonymous as one of the strongest Xbox exclusives at the minute, because I think Halo was wavered a little bit. We got some Conflict Vietnam. Piling these up now. Full Spectrum Warrior. These are all new, what you're about to see. These, in fact, I picked these up with the Xbox Crystal. So here we go. Commandos 2, Men of Courage. These were the next few games, the games that I asked. I use that technique. Excuse me, I wonder if you could help me. And this is what I got. So these weren't on the shelf. So Commandos 2, Men of Courage. Taito Legends. See what I mean, gamers? Atari Anthology. Yeah, because if I had just walked out, I would have missed all these. Thief, Deadly Shadows, and Constantine, the video game. Love Keanu Reeves, by the way. Cyberpunk 2077. Let's get it, baby. I am so excited for that. So we've got the last few bits here. Then I'm just going to bring these across. There's no point in kind of cutting away. There's a few more on the floor. So we got Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. How do you feel about Lego games, by the way? I know that it's kind of like, not everybody likes Star Wars games, but I really do. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Hitman, I'm not very good at stealth, but we've already talked about that. So this is Hitman 2 Silent Assassin. Again, I think for me, Hitman has a very niche market. That's just my perception of it. I could be completely wrong. I tend not to see a lot of streamers with Hitman. It's like really kind of low key. That's my interpretation. True Crime Streets of LA. Getting that glare off there. We've got another copy of Black. So yeah, let's pop that in the doubles pile. An amazing game, 13, which is getting remastered. I'm not quite sure how they're going to make it look better though, because this is cell shading and it still looks fantastic today on the OG Xbox. We got some Brute Force, Dangerous Alone, Deadly Together. Fable, another OG Xbox exclusive that is just wicked. It actually says, Charlie wrote his name on the front of it actually. I know a developer, one of the more prominent developers at Lionhead Studios, and I sent him some stuff and he did sign it. He signed it on the front, bless him, and it says on the back, to Gemma, Albion awaits, Charlie. I'll show you guys. I don't know if you can just kind of see the writing there, but that is one of the devs. He sent me some wicked stuff actually back through the post. Thank you, Charlie. That's really, really cool of you. Continuing on then, no inlays with this, but this is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six 3. We got the Fantastic Four. Not a huge Fantastic Four fan. Probably going to get some like beef in the comment section for that, but that's okay. Headhunter Redemption. We're drilling down now, gamers, so stay with me. The Punisher. Legacy of Kain Defiance. Just spin these around so I can actually see them. Conflict Desert Storm. Another blinding game. We got Fahrenheit. So Quantic Dreams. So think along the lines of Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls. Fahrenheit was one of the earlier games from Quantic Dreams. So they're along the same premise as Heavy Rain, very kind of decision based. You know, your actions affect the next chapter, etc., etc. Very moody, very dark, great script, great characters, great atmosphere in Fahrenheit. We have Bionicle right here. I have another copy of Fable, which isn't signed, so that'll be going on the doubles pile. And then the final game, guys, is Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones. And again, I got the most joy out of the Prince of Persia series on the original Xbox. It was actually playing it on a crystal. When was it? Oh god, mid-2000s I think I started to play that, which was kind of like pretty recent by the OG Xbox standards. So that is my entire original Xbox game collection. So it means a lot to me that you guys really like these videos. I've done a lot of collection videos. There's plenty more on the channel. You can just kind of punch it into the YouTube search bar. Like I said, remember that tip. Always ask. Don't be afraid to ask the staff, but be kind in your delivery and be careful about the language you use, because if you say video games, weirdly not everybody knows what video games are. So be specific, you know, ask for Xbox or PS2 or whatever it is you want to ask for. And thank you very much for watching. So there'll be a £5 PS2/PS3 game challenge dropping on Wednesday. Thank you. Stay tuned for more. There's more videos in the comments, but for now, if you've made it this far in the video, I would love it if you guys could continue my journey with me by hitting that subscribe button and leaving a like rating. I'm gonna leave you to it. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Gemma. Take care. See you soon.